哎，同学们好，毕森老师要说一下 IB 的口语考试怎么样能够考好 IB 的口语考试。No matter it's ab initial or it's SL, very similar. So let's take a look. You need to know how you're going to be graded. So as a 口语考试internal assessment, you are at beginning, you're going to have time to describe the picture. And then afterward, 毕森老师 will have some follow-up questions for you. And then the third part will be totally another theme question based on another theme. So make sure when you answer questions, you need to focus on the task completion. Did you describe the picture and did you mention culture? So that's the B1 category. The delivery, so it's more focused on part 2 and part 3, the follow-up question, and then questions based on another theme. So did you speaking to bring the picture to life? How well? Or what, did you use appropriate words? Did you say it clearly? Did you complete all the details and answer the questions? And then C is a conversation. It's also focused on part 2 and part 3, the follow-up question and another theme. So these are, did you understand my question? Did you need me to repeat my question? Could you continue the conversation that we have? Lastly is language use. That's criteria A. So this part we'll see what kind of vocabulary you have used throughout the part 1, part 2, and part 3. So the points difference, you can see it in the language use is 12 points. So how well do you use your language? Make sure you use connection words 不但而且 and all the ones that already provided you. So let's take a look. How do you describe a picture? That's your part 1. OPAC. Remember OPAC. O is overview. Use quickly. If you're ab initial, quickly, 15 seconds. Who, where, when, what. Cover these. And then P is part, is the partial description. So you're going to take a look at this picture. What people do you use? What kind of expression they have? What kind of clothing? But do not use the whole time to describe they wear this kind of socks, this kind of clothes. That's only a small part of it. Pick the most important, most eye-catching items that to talk about. And did you notice any behavior and action and item decoration in the background is very outstanding and different and worth talking about? And what's your relationship you think the people in the picture is? So this is the parts. Quickly, not taking a lot of time, especially if you ab initial. So the E is extension. This is a very important part. You see, for ab initial, I give you 1 minute because this is so important. 很重要, 很重要. So what are you going to do is you're going to tell whatever this picture is trying to tell you, the culture-wise, the influence, the significance, your personal opinion about what this is about, and relate to your personal life, and could do a little compare and contrast of Chinese and American culture, and whatever other culture you live in, you can do a comparison. And also C is a conclusion. Quickly use 1 or 2 sentences to conclude what this picture is about, and make sure you have like a call on action. 我呼吁中国政府要多进行环保。Something, call on action. So that's your OPAC. Remember this structure when you have the 15 minutes to write bullet points, the 10 points you want to talk about. And so brainstorm the OPAC, overview, parts, extension, and conclusion. That's your part 1. So after your part 1, before we move on, 毕森老师 have give you all these golden sentence where you can use to describe, and also focusing on the detailed parts for description, what you could use and the order that you can use. Make sure you read it in detail. This will be really helpful when you prepare. All right, that's part 1. That is how do you prepare? How do you describe the picture? So after you describe the picture will be part 2, where 毕森老师 is going to ask you some follow-up questions. So if you didn't talk about how many people in the picture, I may ask you, 图片上有几个人? If you didn't mention they're playing on their phones, I may ask you, 他们都在做什么? So I will have follow-up questions based on your description. If you already mentioned those, of course, I don't need to mention those. I will come up to some other questions. Be prepared how to answer those. All right. After your, these is the mind map. When you prepare for your picture description, the O and P, the overview, what are you going to say? One sentence or two. And then the detail, what are you going to mention? And the extension, the culture part, yourself, you compare and contrast the culture and then your opinion, and the call on action for conclusion. Make sure you do that. And lastly will be the part 3. These questions are based on totally another theme. So if we talked about human ingenuity, 人类发明创造, then I probably just ask, what class do you have? And what extra curriculum do you have? That sort of thing. So totally another theme. So make sure you practice these and take a look at what kind of questions, give you some brainstorming. And then if you have any questions, then come ask. 好的，谢谢同学们，再见。